Hello, everyone. This is Cynthia Toet, your TV host for Gypsys Toolbox, and we're talking about alternative healing here, and we are on episode 12, and we're going to talk about emotions and how we can use those emotions as our alternative healing tools. And the reason why I come on to this show is because I have another show called I got a brain fart. That's not the name of the show, though. The name of the show is called Your Hidden Love Story. And over there, I actually coach and counsel people as I'm going through the journey. And people were wanting to know some of the tools I use. And so it came up that, I needed to be doing a series with some of the tools. So when somebody needs a certain tool, when somebody needs a certain tool, that they can actually come to the channel and we can go to that tool, whether it's Ho'oponopono, whether it's emotional freedom tapping, whether it's kinesiology or herbology or massage therapy, whatever it is that I will be talking about. But one of the things that I'm kind of a pro at is with the emotional self. So like the last show I did was on emotional intelligence, but things have happened between that week and this week that I still needed to elaborate more on the emotional self to like really fine tune what it is that I'm talking about, if how or how the emotions themselves can be our tool, how they can actually be our something that actually wakes us up, that we can become aware of the emotion state that takes us under. And as we become aware of that emotional state that takes us under, we can start to look at what are we looking at, and what are we looking at that made us feel that lower vibrational energy. How are we looking at it? And is there a way to really truly change the story that we got going on in the background around to a higher vibrational energetical feeling of a way, so when that same story comes up again, it's not taking your breath away? So like we have grieving and sorrow and sadness and depression and anger, frustration, just to name a few. I know there's a list a mile long because I got this book here and it shows me. I have no idea. It has so many. Let me, belittlement, betrayed, feeling blamed or blocked, or feeling cocky. yeah, I did say that. yeah, or cheap, or feeling like a coward or less than, not whole, not complete, feeling denied, feeling in despaired or destroyed. There are so many different emotional feelings. Disappointment. How can we truly grab a hold of that story when it's happening? And I do believe it all starts with a mindset. And I want to kind of like maybe talk about grieving a little bit. I know that there's 7 steps to healing with grieving. I understand that. But I still think there is a mindset that we got that allows us to grieve longer. I really don't even want to talk about grieving too much, because I don't want to tell people that, you're not supposed to grieve, because that's not true. We are supposed to go ahead and grieve, but how we grieve can be lightened. The way that it's how we're perceiving the story. Like if we're thinking about how the person passed away, maybe they passed away at a young age or younger than you expected, and we just feel like how wrong it is and how it wasn't done right, but every one of us that pass away, we're born to pass away. That's part of life. It just is. I'm not laughing about that process of the procedure, but it is part of life, is for us to pass away. So, and I'm kind of like just toning in on this a little bit on that subject, is because I do have someone that I'm working with that has a whole family that's grieving right now over a loss of a loved one. And I wanted to kind of like just bring the emotional self into the show as I'm talking to it, and hoping that I can get them to listen to the show, is to, which I know they will, I'm not, not any question about it, but is, we need, when we're looking at, we lost someone, we're normally looking about all the things that have gone wrong, or why somebody's life was taken too early or too soon, or and one of the things I believe in, I'm not trying to convince you to believe in anything this way, but this is what makes my journey easier, is the day that we're born, that's the day we're supposed to come into this world, this life. The day that we pass, that's the same. That's the day we're supposed to pass. Even the way that we pass is it's destined. To me, it's like already pre-programmed. I'm not saying that it is, I'm just saying that's my belief. And this is a belief that allows me to surrender and let go easier when somebody actually passes away, is because I'm trusting in divine, I'm trusting in the process, I'm trusting that there's a higher purpose that we cannot see to why someone may no longer be with us. But normally what we do is we take the story to why they're no longer here. I mean, there's a lot of tragic stories why people are not here with us anymore, but we normally take that story and we really get into the sadness, the disappointment, the sorrow, where we as humans, we start to disintegrate, we start losing momentum, we start losing our oomph, we stop losing our go, our will, because of somebody else passing. Again, I'm not trying to push this off as it's an easy thing, because this is a tough subject when I'm talking about grieving. But I'm trying to lighten the load by flipping our story around to a higher vibrational story. Like trusting in the process, trusting however it is that they passed away. Maybe there's things that are going to happen, that were going to happen in their future, that would have been way worse than the way they passed, let's just say. That we can't see, we can't perceive it, we don't even know. I mean, that's just hypothetical. But can we look at being thankful and grateful for these people, whatever age it is? Can we be grateful and thankful for them even being a part of our lives? Look at what they gifted us. What did they joy us? What did they bring us? Can we just bring that all into the wholeness of the picture? And when we think about them, and we think about how sad it is that they're no longer with us, let's think about how glad we are from being able to have that part of their life with them when they were here. Just trying to flip our story around a little bit so we're not just all into the negativity of it. Not that I'm trying to bring positivity into the grieving process, but I'm trying to uplift our story, to uplift our spirit just a bit so we can actually survive instead of suffer so much. I have actually worked with families that have lost loved ones that had been grieving 3 years. There was a family of 5. They were still grieving 3 years later. Every single day, the whole family was grieving. And it was constantly the story that they were telling themselves in the background about how something was so wrong and how this happened and how misery this was. They were talking about all the awful stuff. And then I just came in and started giving them tips to start giving them their life back so they could feel whole and complete and operate fully, which they all do now today. Sure, they still grieve, but not the way where they were pretty much all kind of bedridden. They just didn't know how to transform from one way of living to another. But one of the things that are for certain, for sure in life is change. Change is going to happen in our lives on a regular basis, day in and day out. Change is something that's constant all the time. It's not something we can get out of. Every moment changes. Every day something changes just a little bit. Okay, so I am a coach. I am a life coach, happiness coach, a relationship coach. I help people through their emotional stories and give them strength and give them momentum to move forward with their life process. Even if you're trying to go into a business or trying to change your life situation around, it's so much easier to have someone there by your side that you can, talk to like once a week to give you strength, to give you momentum, to give you the ability to keep moving forward. I've had many coaches in my lifetime, and I would not be here, even here on this channel live, if I didn't have coaches that have led me up to this far. So I'm not just saying that a coach is good because I'm a coach. No, I'm an example of what it took for me to go bigger in my life was to have that coach. I have a little commercial. I'm going to throw it on. It doesn't have any words in it, just music, and it just kind of writes everything up there. So you have to see what it says, and I'll be right back. And did you know that your emotional state can be contagious to others, that others can actually pick up on your emotional state, where they may not even know, may not even be aware of what it is that you're going through, but the emotional state, they can feel it, and it's almost like it's contagious. It's like it lands on the other person, and the other person starts feeling the same energy that you're going through. And if you weren't in tune to your emotional self and knowing that, wow, why did my energy just get drained? Then you can actually have to go through that emotion yourself to actually figure it out and figure out where did that get on? How did that catch me? Where did that spirit get on? So to me, it's so important for us to learn how to fine tune our emotional self, know exactly when that emotion starts to dip, know exactly what story is going on in the background when that emotion starts to dip. If it's not a story going on in the background, notice who you were around or what places you were, because it could be a complete stranger that this can happen. You can actually pick up somebody else's emotional feelings just by walking by them. If it's too much for them to handle, you can catch it. But if you're aware that you can do that, it's like all of a sudden you feel like you were just feeling good and all of a sudden you're not. It's like we can just say, oh, I feel this emotion that's landed upon me. I'm aware of it, but I'm going to note that it's not mine, or this isn't me. It's not defining me. And I'm going to try to release it as fast as I can. But I have helped you in many more times than psychologist ever has. Thank you. And they gave you pills and they gave you advice. Yeah. Thank you for the compliment, Divine. And it is truly about the story we got going on in the background that actually we learned how to feel these ways. I mean, normally when an emotion catches me that's somebody else's, it's an emotion that I have dealt with in my lifetime, or I haven't dealt with it all the way for me to catch it. Because once you really learn how to manage it all, we get better and better and better at not actually going into that lower vibrational way, because we learn how to hold our balance. We learn how to hold our peace of mind and our emotional selves, our emotional being. So the stories we got going on in the background are normally negative, meaning that they're either sad stories, or they're stories to support the anger, or the stories that support the reason why you feel this way, or it's the blaming that somebody else made me feel this way. My main goal here on this show is, when I'm talking about the emotions, is for us to be responsible for our own emotional self. So when that emotion actually takes you under, be aware of it, and then start applying some of the tools, like some of the tools I have in my toolbox. I have to go through my toolbox. Well, maybe I'll try the tapping. Oh, well, the tapping didn't work for this. Well, maybe I'm going to try the Ho'oponopono. Well, that didn't work for this. Well, maybe I'm going to try some sound healing. Well, that didn't work. Let's go through the toolbox. Let's start pulling out in the toolbox and see which tool is going to work to help bring your emotional state back up to a higher vibrational feeling. A higher vibrational feeling is love and above, joy, happiness, peace, harmony, holistic companionship, perspective, and higher vibrational views. It is really, truly the story we've got going on in the background. And just to let you guys know, for those ones that haven't been here before, I suffered from fibromyalgia for 15 years. And it was one day I read a little chapter in a book about that much. The book was written in the 1800s. It's a black book. It was a medical book. I don't know the name or title of the book. But what it said was women back in the 1800s that had fibromyalgia were the reason why they had it. It was the only time I ever found the reason why, because you go to the doctors today, they don't know why. But the reason why they had it is because they were not living their life purpose. That moment I woke up. I knew exactly what I needed to do. I needed to stop allowing all this other information that was coming into me that made me feel less than whole and complete, and believing in it and pushing it out, and start believing in myself and holding true to myself and continue on doing what was true for me without allowing any judgment or any form of outside opinion or noise. And that's how I got myself well. I got myself off of all prescription drugs. I got myself out of bed. I was sleeping 16, 18 hours a day, having a really hard time functioning when I was up for those other, 8 hours, 8 hours. If I was up 8 hours, sometimes I was only up 6 hours, but I would have a very hard time functioning, even doing basic things, getting dressed. Sometimes it take me 3 hours to get completely dressed. And that's just pants, shoes, bra, underwear, socks, and shoes. That's it. Because your mind or you just don't function. So I've gotten myself well enough to be here live, have 3 shows, and some of them I stay on live 3 to 6 hours, because I changed my emotional story around to a higher vibration. I no longer believed in the story that wasn't allowing me to get well. I started believing in me. No matter what anybody else thought, I started believing in me. And knowing that I already have these gifts that I'm teaching you guys. And part of it is flipping your story around to a higher vibration, not to settle for something that's not working for us. That we do all the time, but we need to learn how not to do that and to step into our higher vibrational way of being. So that's why, it's not like I'm trying to teach you guys something because I read it in the book. That's not true. I've walked it. I have lived it. I know what I'm talking about. When an emotional state takes us under, we have to become aware of that emotional state. Know that something just took us under. We have to find what it is that it's going to take for us, ourselves, to be responsible to bring ourselves back up to a higher vibration so we can once again function again in a balanced format. It is possible. For me to do it, I know it's possible for you. Every doctor, I've seen so many doctors, but every doctor, how'd you get off of these medications? I said, because my mind is stronger than that pill. I go, my want and my desire is stronger than the noise that's going on here. They were all amazed. So when I'm here helping you guys, it's through knowledge, life experience, knowing that what I'm teaching you guys works. Yes, it takes time because we are emotional beings. That's why I can't just, over the live show, I can't just do it in a one step. And for somebody to really be serious about wanting to claim their emotional lives back, you definitely need a coach one-on-one. Until I can do a group coaching if that's going to serve us better. But one-on-one, what happens one-on-one with me? We coach once a week for an hour. And then through the week, if you run into something that you can't get through, you message me. I message you back for about 10 or 15 minutes. I'll take some time and message you back, give you some things to do, to work on. And we're going to find the right tool that works for you for each one of those emotions. And it really takes about 3 months to get this solidified in. So we're actually like, oh, I get it. Then I'm always willing to do something shorter, just, let's get you a quick fix. But a quick fix is only, temporary. That quick fix is going to make you want to do a 3-month program. Anyhow, that's why I go live for you guys. I know that I got myself well off of the alternative healing ways. Not from the doctors. I'm not saying that they don't have their purpose. They do. But from my situation or my condition, found out they didn't know what to do. And as far as I know, for that condition, they still don't know what to do. So make sure you guys take responsibility for your own emotional self by watching as much stuff as you can to help you figure things out. And if not, hire yourself a coach. Hire myself. Even if it's just a one-time deal, see what it is. See what I'm talking about. See how I hold your hand. How do I lift you up? I teach you how to lift yourself up. I dare you guys to take on the challenge to be responsible for your own emotional being. Not to be hard on yourself when it happens. When it happens, when we get sad, mad, angry, oh, yeah, that emotion just came in me. And that's not me. That does not define me. That's not who I am. But I'm going to learn how to let it go. I'm going to learn how to let it go so when that emotion comes towards me again, that it starts to go through me instead of try to settle down in me. It's going to go through me. And pretty soon you won't feel that emotion anymore. That's truth coming out. Because you learn through the stages, you learn through the steps how to change that vibrational feeling around. Thank you, Divine Timing. All right, you guys, that's pretty much what I had to talk about today. Is I wanted to really talk about the emotional self. And a lot of times, like I had a whole different game plan for today, but sometimes life situations lead me and guide me. It'll lead me and guide me on the last moment on the day of the show to retitle the show or rename the show, because somebody out there needs to hear what it is that I have to say in a different way than what the show was going to present. Okay? So I love you guys so very much. I will be back tomorrow night for your Hidden Love Story at 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Remember to come on in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you know when I'm going to go live, because you never know. I mean, I'm starting to go live a little bit more often than not, and so you need to go ahead and come on in. And when I do live readings when I just come in for the 15-20 minute live readings throughout the day, it's kind of really neat because I'm giving you guys an update. You know it's live, you know it's happening at that moment. It's not pre-programmed, not scheduled. It is, and I give you guys a place to let go of that old feeling and bring in this higher vibrational feeling. All of my readings are positive. What about $5? $5. I got a $5 donation from Divine Timing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Good morning, Summon. I'm about ready to end the show right here. So it was a good show, though. So anyhow, I love you guys so very much. I'll be back tomorrow night, and I might come on later on tonight just to pop in, but I have someone that I'm kind of working on a little bit. I want to help them a little bit on their grieving stuff, and I hope this show really helped you guys get more of an insight of what I'm talking about as using our emotions as part of our healing process. You love me too. I love you too, Summon. Come on in and tell me how much you love me. Oh, you're so cute. So let's see. Pamela loves me. Andrew loves me. Divine Timing loves me. Summon loves me. Who else was here today? I know there's people in the background that love me. I'm a lovable person, huh? Well, you guys, I will see you later on, either maybe later on tonight, but right now, tomorrow for sure. Okay, love you. Bye-bye. Catch you. Bye-bye, butterflies. Oh, where's the end of my show? I gotta get it here. Over here. Here we go.